Hi, I'm George Pearson. In this Photoshop Elements video, we'll be doing this Polaroid style photo collage, which allows you to change the theme just by changing the background of the image, just like that. Now if you enjoy this video, make sure to click that like button and also share with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss out on any future videos. And if you want to learn a lot more about Photoshop Elements, take a look at my complete training and you'll find the links for that on my channel. Okay, so let's get started. This Polaroid style photo collage consists of two parts. The first part is to make the frame, the Polaroid frame, and the second part is to combine everything together into overall project. We can then change the background to match any theme that you want to be working with. Let me just get this out of the way. Now I have a bunch of pictures down here. I just selected 5 pictures to use in this particular one. Just grab some of your holiday shots, vacation shots, whatever, and then match the background to a theme that matches the theme of your images. We'll start off by making a brand new file. So File, New, Blank File. Set this to the default Photoshop Elements size. We'll start off there. That gives us the resolution of 300. Set the width to 3.25 inches and then the height to 3.875 inches. And there we go. There's the basis for our frame. Now we need to cut a hole in this and put just a little bit of a rounded edge on that. To cut the hole in the right spot, let's put in some guidelines. Go up to the View, come down to New Guide, and we'll do our vertical guidelines first. Set the first one at 0.25 inches. That's the left side. And then set the right one, New Guide, vertical still at 3 inches. And that's the right edge. So I do the top and the bottom guides. So View, New Guide, change to horizontal. The top one is at 0.25 again. There we go. So it's a 1/4 inch around these sides. The bottom is thicker. So View, New Guide, and the bottom horizontal is going to be at 3.125. And there it is. Now that we have this, so you can use this in the future, make changes if you want to. Let's go ahead and make a copy of our background layer. Just drag it up to the New Layer button, like that. Grab the rectangular marquee tool. Make sure feathering is set at 0 and set for a new selection. And also go up to View, come down to Snap To, make sure that Snap To Guides is selected. And then come right over this upper left hand corner intersection and then pull down to the bottom right corner. It'll snap right to position like that. If we make a layer mask from the selection, it will show this inner part and hide the outside. So we need to invert the selection. So select and then inverse, because we want to have this part shown and this part hidden. So there's our layer mask. Click on the layer mask button. Just like that. That looks good. Let's now go over here to the left hand side. We'll add in a style onto this. Actually, if I hide the background, you can see that there's what it looks like. We'll add a style onto this one. So come down to Styles and Bevels right there. You want this one here. It's the Simple Inner. So click on that. That puts a little beveled edge here and a beveled edge around the bottom there. It looks more like it's a three-dimensional effect. It's too thick though, so back over to Layers. Double click where it says FX. Set the lighting angle here to 136, which is kind of upper left hand corner. And then bring the bevel size down to 7. So just a little thin beveled edge in there. And choose OK. Alright, so far so good. Now in case you want to make changes on this in the future, we'll leave this as is. Make a copy of this layer, like that. Hide that one. And then on this copied layer, right click where the name is and choose Simplify Layer. That just collapses the whole thing down. Now you're not seeing the hole here, just hide to show that and you'll then see that hole. Okay, this layer here is what we'll use as our frame over in our project. And I'm leaving these things in here just in case I want to come back in the future, make changes to this. I can do that and just save this as a separate file. Go ahead and save that if you want. I'm not going to bother, I already have one saved, but you can just save it at this point, and you can then have that as a basis for doing more stuff in the future. For now, let's just put this over here and make a new file, File New, blank file. Now on this one, choose the document type and come down to Photo. And in the photo, choose the landscape 8x10. Double check, make sure that the resolution is 300, and then choose OK. So there's our basic file. We can now go back over to this file here and then take this layer and drag it over into that file. And there's our Polaroid frame. Okay, this can now be closed out and saved at that point. I'm not going to bother saving mine again since I already have that saved. Okay, so there's our basic photo frame. We can put a background in now. Go to Graphics and change the graphics over to Backgrounds. And all kinds of backgrounds in here. Just choose a background. It will change the background to whatever you want. So you can choose the theme for your collage by just changing your background. Since we're just past Christmas, I'll pick a nice Christmas background. Let's just say you've taken a lot of pictures over Christmas and you wanted to put those into a collage. We'll go ahead and give it a Christmas background. There's tons of backgrounds there to choose from. Just choose one that matches the theme that you want to have. So here's a nice Christmas background right there. There it is. Got a nice one. Notice in these backgrounds, some of these have these blue triangles. That means that this hasn't been downloaded to your computer yet. So the first time you use any background, it'll download that from online. So make sure that you're online when you're doing this step so you can then download that from online. Okay, a little further down we have the one that I used. There it is. Just click on that one. And so here's kind of a nice baseball field, kind of a spring type things, different more spring colors down here. A little further on down, there's the one I chose right there. That was in the opening of this video. We used that one as an alternate background. Okay, so just choose the background. That becomes your theme. Back to our layers again. And since it's on the background layer, you can just change that very, very easily by going back to Graphics and choosing New Background. If you want to have a few different backgrounds in here to choose from in your file, so you can change your backgrounds whenever you want to, just take the current background, copy it up to a new layer like that. Gives you a copy. Now when you change the background, this will change, but this will stay in your file. So I can hide this one. Go back to our graphics. I'll click on that background. There's that background, kind of a spring type background. Back to our layers. So there's that new background. Here's the Christmas background. So you could set in several different backgrounds. Now we need to have 5 of these in here for this basic layout. And you want to keep one more as a backup. Now the reason for that is that when we place our image inside of the Polaroid, it then becomes one graphic. So if you want to change it in the future, or do different images in the future, you'll have to come back in and start again from this stage. This is kind of your basic stage right here. Okay, so here's this background. Now to do this for all versions, we'll use this. Make 5 copies of this. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. They're all on top of one another. Hide the bottom one. If you want to change the name on this one, you can go ahead and do that. I'll call it Frame Original. So we'll save that one out by hiding it. We won't touch that. In case you want to come back and redo this in the future, just come back to that one and start off from this position. Okay, now all of our frames here. I'm going to go here to Auto Select Layer. Just check that. I can then click on a frame and then just pull that frame out from that stack. And let's put these kind of like this. So they're just stacked in here. Now leave these straight up and down at this point. You just want to have them a little bit separated so you can see the individual frames. We'll worry about positioning as our last step. So here's our 5 basic frames. Now because we have the auto select selected, I can just click on a frame. It then selects that frame layer. Now go over to the magic wand tool. Click inside of that frame. That selects the inside. There it is. Now go to our photo bin. And let's open up a picture. Go up to Select and All. So select all. Edit, copy. Back to our working file here, and then edit, paste into selection. And it puts a picture inside of that selection. See, there's the whole picture, and there it is inside the selection. I can now close this one down, just close that out. At this point, so there's our image, and it's inside of that frame. You see the outside of the layer here. Use the Control-T keyboard shortcut. That brings up the control handles. I can now grab my corners and move the picture around and adjust the size until it fits. Looks pretty good. Now there will be some cropping on almost any of your pictures in here because of the kind of square format that the Polaroid format has. So you just have to work with that square format. Get your picture in there just where you want it, and then check OK. While that's still selected, I can then move that around using the arrow keys just for slight touch-ups. You want to keep that selection just away from that edge if possible. Once you're done there, go ahead and deselect, and that's now locked in place onto that frame. It's now one graphic. So make sure you do all your repositioning while you still have those selections showing. So at this point, it's all locked in place. Okay, so let's continue on down to the same thing for the rest of our pictures. Fill those frames in. Go back to our Move tool. Click on this one next, right there. Because the auto select layer is on, that selects that layer for us. Magic wand, click inside, that selects the inside. Now make sure that contiguous is checked down here to get just that part and not everything else. So make sure that's checked as well. Come back to our photo bin, and that's this picture here. Same thing, select all, edit, copy, close that down, edit, paste into selection. There it is. Control-T for our handles, and let's just size this to fit. And pull that up about to there. A little bit of positioning with the cursor keys. I want to see that cat, so I'm going to keep on moving this up so we get the cat face in there as well. There we go. And choose OK. And then deselect. That's now one solid graphic. Just continue on down. Down our next spot down here. Again, back to the Move tool. Click on the frame. Magic wand. Click inside. That selects the inside. Back to our photo bin. That's our next picture right here. Select all. Edit. Copy. Close that down. Edit. Paste into selection. There it is. Control-T keyboard shortcut. And let's squeeze this down to fit properly inside of our frame here. That looks pretty good. Kind of like that. I want to see a little bit of that red and white outfit there. Again, I'll use the arrow keys to kind of nudge this around a little bit to get it exactly right, and that looks pretty good right there. Choose OK. Deselect. On to our next. So Move tool. Click on the frame. Magic wand. Click inside. Mix our selection. Back to the photo bin. Our next picture is this one. Select all. Edit. Copy. Close that down. Edit. Paste into selection. There we go. Control-T again. So you can see it's actually pretty fast and pretty easy to do this once you get down the basic system. And that looks pretty good already. I think I'll move it up just a little bit so the hands aren't cut off. There we go. And then deselect. Final one. Click on that frame. Magic wand. Click inside. Back to our photo bin. Last picture right here. Select all. Edit. Copy. Close. Edit. Paste into selection. Control-T keyboard shortcut for our control handles, and then let's resize that to fit and pull it down just a little bit, right about there, and choose OK, and then deselect. So all of our pictures are now in place. At this point, we can come in and position these. Click on a frame, come just outside of the corner, and kind of a bent arrow. I can now give that a bit of a twist and a reposition. That's kind of nice. Our next one up here, again, just outside the corner, a little bit of a twist like that. You can either have them inside or outside overlapping, whatever you want. A little bit of overlap is kind of fun on these things. Move on down to our next one. After click the check mark, there are. Click on this frame. Just a little bit of a spin here on that, just a touch. That's kind of fun. You move it up just a little bit. All right. To our next frame. Get a bit more of a rotation here, again, just outside of one of our corners there. Kind of like that. Pull it up just a little bit. And then final frame down here. Do a reverse on this. Just kind of overlap them. Just have a bit of, kind of overlapping going on in there. And finish that off. Okay, there's a basic layout. The last thing in here is to help to separate these out so they kind of disappear there. I can't see the overlap on those spots. So let's do two things. Let's put a drop shadow onto these and then also do a little outline on them as well, just to help separate those out. So I'll click on our first one down here. Go up to Layer and Layer Style Settings. First thing will be a drop shadow. Set the angle to 136 so it matches the angle of our original, 136. Let's now set the size at 7. That's good. Bring the distance out a little bit. I'll bring it out to 17 so you can begin to see that edge right there. And I want it a little bit darker, so let's bring the opacity up to 50 just so it's more obvious. You can kind of see that edge now right down in there. If I show and hide that, there it is. You can see that little drop shadow showing. Okay, now come down to stroke, outside stroke at 1. If it's not showing, click on inside, then click on the outside. You won't really see it on this one yet, but you'll see it on these overlaps. So just a 1 pixel stroke in black. Opacity of 100, choose OK. Now, where the name is, right click on the name and come down to copy layer style. Then just go up 1 layer, right click on the name, paste layer style, and then just move up. Next one, right click, paste layer style. Next one, right click, paste layer style, and the final one, right click and paste layer style. So there we go. So there's our drop shadow helping us to separate out on the background, and there's a real thin line which gives us that separation between the pictures. And there it is. It's all finished. Let's go ahead now, pull this up, and I'll enlarge this a little bit so you can see it better. There we go. Now to change the background layer, let's just hide that one that we copied. There's our new background. Just go to the graphics, choose a different background. Let's go for this one this time. Here's our background change. Here's a different one. So easy to change the background to find the look that you want. To go ahead then and finish it off. Okay, let's go back to our layers, which are right there. Bring back our Christmas one for this layout. And there it is. That's how to do a Polaroid style photo collage. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you found it useful. If you like this video, click on the like button below to let others know. You can click the subscribe button so you don't miss any of my videos in the future. I'm frequently uploading new training videos. Don't forget to check out my website at howtogurus.com.